Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. And this is our Coming Soon and News segment, where we discuss some of the films that are coming soon, coming out within the next couple of days, as well as a bit of news for the industry. So, Matt.
Yes.
Hey. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
Awesome.
We're going to talk about some coming soon films. Are you excited about that?
That sounds like such a great thing.
It really is. And for those of you that are just joining in, listening to us the first time, I want to make you aware we have a Facebook. We have a website. We have a bunch of really cool stuff. You can get connected with us at the beginning. I don't know why I'm saying it this way.
We have a Twitter.
I mean, like super serious right now.
Which you didn't even know we had a Twitter account.
Until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was actually 1 week ago.
And then I felt so stupid. You know, I looked it up. I was following it. I imagine you logged me in somehow and got me following you.
Yeah, I
don't
hacked
even
your
remember
account.
Following it. Yeah, so we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have a website, all of that. You can find facebook.com/Real Review Media. You can also find us on our website, realreviewmedia.com. Twitter handle, Instagram handle, Real Review Media. That's super easy to find. And then if you want to email us, you got any questions about anything we're going to be talking about today, maybe you got some thoughts on some of this news or the films that are going to be coming out, email us, realreviewmedia@gmail.com.
Nailed it. That's awesome.
Thanks for joining us. No kidding. So why don't we get into talking about some films, Matt?
Yeah, man. I'm actually excited for at least 50% of what's coming out this weekend.
Yes.
So I want to start off with the big one, and I would say that's Ghost in the Shell.
For sure.
And quick synopsis. In the near future, Major is a first of her kind, a human saved from a terrible crash who is cyber enhanced to be a perfect soldier devoted to stopping the world's most dangerous criminals. Now, this is based off of a Japanese property, right? It's an anime.
Japanese anime film from 1995.
You almost said Janime, didn't you?
Janime. Yeah, how'd you know? Yeah.
But this is actually directed by Rupert Sanders and stars Scarlett Johansson. I'm going to butcher these names, but...
probably. There's a lot of Asian actors.
Pilu Asbeck, Takeshi Kitano, Juliette Binoche, I know her,
Hey.
Michael Pitt, and Chin Han. Anyways, so I'm actually kind of excited for this. All the marketing that has been released for this has been very intriguing.
Yeah.
And visually interesting and very cool looking.
Yeah.
And if I know anything from Rupert Sanders, like he can do some cool visual stuff.
Right. Snow White and the Husband.
Yeah, exactly. Which looked really cool. As a whole, wasn't as great, but looked really cool. That troll scene in that movie was awesome.
Yeah.
But this looks really cool to me. So and everything there's been nothing that's been detracting my excitement level for it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the property though, and I don't know if that's a benefit.
That's actually my biggest area of concern.
Okay.
For this film coming out is because if you even get in the base level of Ghost in the Shell of kind of what they're all about, the first film, it really has a lot of deep concepts, a lot of deep philosophical ideas of what is existence and how what can a machine get so much information that it eventually becomes something that is in existence, and what is reality, and does reality exist? And so it's all these kind of really deep, mind-bending type concepts.
So you've seen it?
Yeah, the film, the original anime.
Yeah,
I've seen the original. It's it's a classic. I checked it out. I like to be familiar with lots of different type of things like that. I've seen some anime films that are just classics and stuff. And so this was one that I had checked out, and it really is one of those movies. The original anime it's definitely for an adult audience.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of really deep concepts and things that you kind of have to sit and think about and really understand, and a lot of symbolic type metaphor with visuals, and there's good action in it too.
Right.
So there's some really good sci-fi type visual and action elements that make it a very enjoyable. You could literally just kind of sit there, but you recognize that there's deeper elements to it. And so in a sense, I do see how it looks like with the cinematography. At least they're going for something that's a bit more purposeful. And not just like, we're just going to put some crazy action sequences. It's not just a bunch of random stuff flying at you. And they're using the slow motion technique to kind of, I think, imbue this sense of like depth. Because it kind of elicits a different feeling when it's in slow motion versus standard speed.
Right.
So I'm excited in that sense that maybe they're going to do that. But I don't see in my personal perspective, I just don't see Hollywood making that type of a film for this. I don't see them going in a direction where they're really going to create sort of the artistic, deeper, philosophical type film for this type of a market. I don't know.
Right.
I just really don't see them. And when I look into, the writers behind the actual, plot, and maybe they this is the first one that they've really ever, had a chance to really like work their chops out. But I mean, we've got one of the writers for the Lego Ninjago movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
well, Ninjago,
yeah.
ninja.
And so right. So what it's really looking like to me is that yes, it probably will have a really cool stylistic feel, and it might kind of dip its toe into some of the probably the deepest element that they'll get into is the whole idea of reality versus artificial reality.
Right.
That's probably as deep as they'll get with it. But I'm excited for the visual style.
Yeah.
And the action.
As long as it's better than Aeon Flux.
Oh my goodness. So I make it a purpose for me that I never walk out of movies. I try to always, if I can, because there might be some redemptive factor. Aeon Flux is one of 2 movies I've ever walked out of. That was one of the only 2. They lost me on the moment that I think I don't even
remember that movie.
It was literally the scene. I'm just going to say it. It was the scene where she is infiltrating I forget the building.
Okay.
And there's the one inept security guard that's like in the middle of this giant rooftop. And there's like one window on the very top. It's like a skylight and he's guarding it. And he's like looking around and they show it and like it's completely empty. There's this roof is like 50 feet wide. Right. And then out of nowhere, she just comes flying through the air, wraps her legs around his head and breaks his neck. I'm like, where did she even come from? Like, how do you even do that? I think that's the moment where I was like, I'm done.
I kind of want that to happen in Ghost in the Shell.
I would be very sad. Because I actually really kind of liked the original Ghost in the Shell. Again, it's a very adult favorite kind of, product, but it's good.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see. I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those films where the people who have seen the original anime and the people who don't know anything about the property are going to have very different experiences.
I agree. I don't think they're going to make this. I think the visual style is for the fans and kind of the overall plot, characters and everything are going to be for the fans, but I don't think they're going to go to the same depth that was made the original so popular over time.
Yeah.
Because if it had just been a straightforward action movie, it would have been cool, but it wouldn't have had anywhere near the following and the fan and the high critic ranking. So we'll see though.
Yeah. No, totally cool.
What's your overall excitement for this?
I give it an 8. I'm pretty excited about it. I want to see something really cool. I hope they dive into some of the deepness that you're alluding to. I always think of like a good movie like that. It would be like The Matrix.
Yeah.
If they can do something like that kind of, that would be cool.
And I will say this, they're getting some flack because they cast Scarlett Johansson. It's an Asian type film set in China, I believe is the idea. It's not really, there's not really a defined location in the film, the original. But it was based upon Chinese type city structure. They may have even
changed it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think she looks the role. Like if you look at the 2 characters, I mean, yes, say that the original girl was Asian, but if you look at the original girl from the original movie, Major, she looks similar.
Yeah.
So
cool. How about yours?
I'd say I'm probably more like an 8.5.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's a lot of it also has to do with the next film we're going to be talking about because there's not a lot to necessarily look forward to in that film. And the film we are talking about is The Boss Baby.
The Boss Baby.
Yeah. So Matt, if you're comfortable with it, why don't you kind of intro this one a little bit?
Well, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, Joel.
Do your best.
But yes, The Boss Baby. Quick synopsis. A suit-wearing, briefcase-carrying baby pairs up with his 7-year-old brother to stop the dastardly plot of the CEO of Puppy Co.
I think there's one, I'll let you talk, obviously, but I think there's one thing that makes this film potentially worth watching, which is Alec Baldwin.
Right. Yeah. It's so funny. Just a side note on that. Alec Baldwin, growing up, had always played these serious roles. Mm-hmm. It's like the last 5 to 10 years, he's comedic. Like that's like what he's done. I've always grown up with him with the serious roles, and for some reason, he's just had this shift where he's like, like, do you remember The Edge?
I do. Yeah.
Like, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I think. The role that I really saw him break into more of the comedic side was actually the television show is 30 Rock, sorry, 30 Rock, not Third Rock, from 30 Rock. I think.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could say Beetlejuice was kind of comedic, right?
Yeah, I mean he played a serious role
in
it, but it was a comedic film. But I think I would agree with you for the most part. He played more of the serious type, and then as he got older, he actually has aged well into comedy.
Right.
And I think he's got a good comedic sense.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, he's been killing it. I mean, like you said, 30 Rock and all of his SNL stuff. So,
yep.
Yeah, so Alec Baldwin, Steve Buscemi, Jimmy Kimmel, Lisa Kudrow, Tobey Maguire, which is interesting. I think that's very interesting, actually. But I'm not super excited for this.
What?
Yeah, I'm not, man.
Really? You don't want to see a baby Alec Baldwin?
Not really. The only thing that made me giggle in the trailer was they have like this high-speed car chase happening in the grass, and then like they pan out to the parents' perspective, and they're going like super slow, and he's just hanging on the back. I was like, that's kind of funny.
I agree with that. I thought it was funny too. They pulls out the money wheel or the wad of like hundreds or whatever it is. He's like, yeah, buy yourself some nice clothes, and he like throws it. I thought that was pretty funny too. I will say this. I don't necessarily know how good it's gonna be. I think it doesn't look very good, but the director of this that we're dealing with, Tom McGrath, he did Megamind, which was another film that when I saw the preview for it, I really thought looked bad.
I love Megamind.
But didn't that turn out to be a good film?
Megamind's great.
Yeah, but when I saw the preview for that, it really looked stupid.
Yeah.
And it looked very derivative and kind of like, all right, what are you doing that's different here? And this film looks stupid, kind of derivative of some other types of things. And I really didn't give it a chance. And so what I'm trying to do is separate myself a little bit and just say like, hey, let's not be so critical, Joel. Try to be a little bit more of the fan. Yeah. And let's separate ourselves and just give it a chance. So I'm still not super excited, but I'm trying to give it a chance.
Yeah, no, I give every movie a chance. I'm just saying,
yeah,
I'm just not like, I got to see this weekend immediately. It's not like my overall vibe.
Yeah,
but
it definitely goes, it goes in the shelf first and then Boss Baby.
There you go.
The Boss Baby. You have to make sure you include that article. The Boss, important.
The Boss Baby Driver.
Yeah, The Boss Baby Driver.
That's a different movie.
It's a totally different movie.
Anyways.
Yeah. Left field.
Yeah. So what's your excitement level for this?
6 point, maybe like 6.8 out of 10. 7 out of 10?
6 for me.
6 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
D- level excitement.
Well, I went to see Life last week and I didn't want to, so maybe you can push yourself and go see Baby Boss, the Baby Boss.
Push myself,
yeah.
man. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Awesome. Well, then let's get into a bit of news. And so, Matt, you had brought up a couple different news items you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are those?
Hey, so they dropped I guess you could call it the second Justice League trailer.
Yes.
And we get to see a little bit of everybody.
This is the second?
Yeah, they had the Comic-Con one.
Yeah, which is kind of...
It's kind of like a not trailer.
Right, it's a teaser more. Yeah. Mostly Batman and Flash, and then a little bit here and there Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Aquaman and Cyborg a little bit.
You don't really get too much Cyborg until this trailer, but even in this trailer, you get very little of him.
Right.
He has like one line.
So here's the thing, and I think it's just... It was hard not to watch this through the Batman v Superman lens.
Yeah.
Because it's the same director.
Yeah.
And it has the same exact like color palette, tone, and everything. It felt like I was watching cutscenes from Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay. I did like the action. Right. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see The Flash. The Flash has been something that's never really been on my radar until the Grant Gustin show came out.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's Ezra Miller is going to be embodying a lot of who the Flash is, and kind of, in my opinion, the quippy, quick-witted, like the Peter Parker of the DC universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the Flash's ability. He looks... I don't know, the way they're doing it visually, obviously they have a bigger budget to make it look different than the TV show. And I should note, if you're listening, they're not connected at all.
Right.
But this is, some of the visuals and how fast he moves is really, really cool.
Absolutely. I don't like his outfit in this one as much.
It's a bit Iron Man-y.
Yeah, it looks a bit too severe and harsh for Flash, who tends to be more on the lean.
Right.
He looks bulky. And muscly, and I'm like, no, that's not my Flash.
Yeah,
personally, but it ain't my Flash.
It's not my Flash.
Start a hashtag here.
Yeah,
ain't my Flash. But I feel like I think his character looks cool, the way that they're treating his character.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I liked that I saw in this that I didn't necessarily get from Batman vs Superman is a bit of a humor.
Yeah, there's a lot of humor.
They're not taking this super seriously.
Yeah.
which is kind of one of the main problems I thought for Batman vs Superman, which is they took it super seriously. How do you know that name? How do you know Martha? Yeah, I thought they took it way too seriously, and it was like it's a silly concept to have these two crazy superhero guys battle each other like they are, and they should have had Jesse Eisenberg felt like the only thing in that was stupid, and that was like on accident.
Yeah,
you know. And so this one, I would liked that there's a bit of a playful attitude kind of between a lot of the characters who are commenting on their different personality quirks.
Even Aquaman, I thought that was really cool.
Even Aquaman is a bit of a kind of a tongue-in-cheek, you know. The
only thing I didn't like about it was they had this one really, like, they didn't finish the CG on Cyborg completely. Like, they had one where his face, the whole thing was CG, but they wanted to make it look like his face was real, and it looked like a cutscene out of a video game. Like, this doesn't look like a real person.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't make it in the movie.
No, well, it'll probably be in the movie, but what I think is going to happen is they still have 8 months. Quality. Yeah, they're gonna brush up on that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because you know, who's the straight man in this group of people? It seemed like they would all be kind of straight man, but Batman was actually cracking some jokes. Yeah. Cyborg actually seems like more of the straight man.
Yeah, I love that scene. He's like, the Flash is like, so what's your superpower? He's like, I'm rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like cracking some jokes there, and like he asks him if he's gonna kill everybody, and he's like, you know, jury still, something like that.
Yeah, Aquaman. He's like, dressed like a bat. I dig it.
Yeah. So I like some of the playfulness. I mean, that was part of what made the first Avengers film so great, was the humor. And so if they incorporate that and they don't go so stupid with the plot, if they don't try and do too much and kind of make it stupid, then this could be a first check mark on the win column, possibly for DC.
I still think Wonder Woman's going to take that title.
I hope.
Right. I hope that's their win.
I'm still concerned. I'm equally at this point excited for both.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for that. That dropped actually yesterday.
Yeah.
But
that'll be coming out later in the year.
Yeah, for sure. It comes out in November. The other piece of news, and this is just a real quick thing, but they released some first set photos and images of Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft.
Yes.
Which what they're dubbing as the quote unquote gritty reboot of the Tomb Raider series.
Yes.
Which I'm all for. And video game movies just don't have a great track record. I thought Assassin's Creed was going to be the first one that was going to be critically acclaimed. And when I say, I mean a 60% or higher on Rotten Tomatoes. Which I think the highest is like in the mid 40s.
I will say this though, those original Tomb Raider movies were like, in the realm of video game movies, were like video game like Emmys movies.
The first one.
Yeah, because they weren't good. They were okay. Maybe some people liked them, a lot of people didn't, but in comparison to some other types of video game movies, they're like amazing.
I didn't care for the second one at all, but the first one I actually really enjoyed. Kind of on it's like a guilty pleasure level, like something that's entertainment and something that's entertaining. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I still think Mortal Kombat's up there, but that's whatever.
I liked Mortal Kombat. Yeah. I totally get why people didn't like it though. Test your mind.
But no, I think Alicia looks great. I think, you know, for what they're doing and giving it more of a realistic tone. I mean, obviously the Angelina Jolie ones weren't realistic.
No.
But
not at all.
I think this is cool. It's kind of an origin story of sorts too. It's kind of how the story is going to go approach it from the aspect of how she becomes the Tomb Raider.
Right, and the name of it is just Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So it's really trying to, I think, just get you to look at her as that.
Right. And so I think it's cool. I think it looks real. She looks like she's like legit, like gonna raid tombs.
Well, the synopsis here we have for it on IMDb puts her on an island where she's looking for her father, and there's sort of an ancient dagger type scenario that's going on. So I imagine there'll be kind of some mysticism, and you know, I think in a way like a harsher version of Indiana Jones with a female lead.
Yeah,
is kind of what I'm picturing. And if it's that would be cool.
Yeah.
I would be into that. I would be fine.
It's really what she is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and the remakes that they did, you know, obviously you had that long run of Lara Croft games that came out for like the PlayStation 1 and everything like that, and were, you know, more fun, kind of silly action and, you know, puzzle games. Mm-hmm. But then they remade them a very similar style, more a cinematic type thing in the more recent iterations of the Tomb Raider series video games, you know, the ones, and I think this is based upon the first reiteration.
Yeah, they re-released it for the PS3 at first
with
came
her
out,
younger, so they kind of the prequels, and so this is based upon that.
Yeah,
and they're more of a cinematic, they're more of a story that's she kind of has a lot of baggage with her name because of connotations of when she first came out. But
Right.
they really did a good job of kind of bringing a new story and a new purpose to her character. And I think if they embrace that, they could do good things.
And Alicia Vikander's awesome.
Oh yeah, she's a great
fantastic.
actress. Yeah.
Her I don't know if she's married or just dating Michael Fassbender, but
from everything I've read, they're just dating.
okay. So Michael Fassbender,
I'm monitoring this very closely.
yeah, he had his go at a video game with Assassin's Creed and didn't land it. So here's to hoping that Alicia Vikander can make this happen. But everything,
Like, honey, I tried.
it
Can
looks
you give
all
it a
right. The
shot?
images look good, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I'm pleasantly excited that she's on board for it. It's not a bad sign. It's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So, well, with that then, I think that's our last new thing, right, Matt?
That is it.
Last news thing. Should pronounce my
Last
words better.
news thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we are very glad to have you guys listening today to the podcast. And again, I just want to remind you of ways to get connected to us. Here at the end, you can check out our website, which is realreviewmedia.com.
Boom.
We have our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Facebook, probably the best way to get connected to us. That's facebook.com/realreviewmedia.
Boom.
And then you can find us at I love that. Boom. You can find us at Real Review Media as our Twitter and Instagram handle. Where's the no boom for that? I didn't do a very good job setting it up.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
okay.
but you can
We'll get it
connect
next
with us
time.
there, and we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, maybe you think Lara Croft is going to bomb at the box office once again. Maybe you think it's going to do well. We'd love to hear any thoughts, any ideas, concepts you would have for us. Feedback is always great. You can contact us at realreviewmedia@gmail.com. As always, we love hearing from our fans. We love hearing from not our fans, critics as well.
Right.
Just like hear from you guys knowing you're listening. So feel free to drop us a line. And that is it. Matt, anything else you want to talk about?
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, then, it's been real.
It's been real.